on the premise of a North Polar expedition, only to
Well,
discover that he had been beaten to the mark by Robert Peary, an American naval
Robert Peary.
officer and explorer. When
I was having all
Roger
kinds
Scott
of...
publicly announced his intention
This
to
guy
lead
is
the
actually...
expedition to
He
the
wasn't
South
around back
Pole,
then, I don't think. This is a newer film where they
Amundsen
spliced in all kinds of
responded
stuff.
daringly. He decided to redesign his expedition to go
Nixon
to
was doing all
Antarctica.
this stuff, and I don't know.
And he
Or some
didn't
people were
tell
doing
his
all this
men
stuff.
or any of his backers because he felt people would try to interfere or change his plans.
Neither Scott nor the public knew that a
When
race
I
was
put on an
ahead.
expedition, I put on an expedition. Notice
Scott's
the
vessel,
steam
the
and
Terra
sail.
Nova, set sail on June 1st, 1910 to great fanfare. The expedition
I think this was mine.
was broad in scope. There were 65 seamen
White
and
ship.
scientists, 34 dogs, 19 ponies,
Yeah, I remember this. This was my
and
expedition.
3 track-driven motor sledges.
See the S?
There would be 2 separate exploration parties, one bound for the pole and one to explore King Edward VII land.
I was king, and a lot of people were saying, yes, King Edward! Blah, blah. It's like, my name's not Edward. My name is Lucifer Star.
It strikes me more like it's like guerrilla warfare. Each man a specialty in one thing. Small group could move very fast.
2 months later, under cover of darkness, Amundsen set sail aboard his ship, the Fram. With 97 of the best North Greenland sledge dogs, and 19
I might have actually been
men
funding
picked
both of the
for a race to the
expeditions.
South Pole.
I usually had people travel in teams,
Amundsen
so
publicly maintained
I don't
that
know.
he was headed north.
not exactly sure. Lots of people were confusing the facts and trying to do this and do that.
It was always considered sneaky by the British authorities.
It was a kind of deception. He left it until halfway to Antarctica to actually tell the world about his
Ah,
plans.
gorgeous. Look at the eyes.
When Amundsen did inform Scott, his telegram was brief, deflating, and not entirely revealing. Beg leave to inform you, Fram proceeding Antarctic. Amundsen. The race was officially on, but Amundsen's team was already working with single-minded focus.
And through the voyage down and their time in camp, each man treated that area of specialty really as a craftsman and treated a great piece of work. They refined, they improved, they experimented, they evaluated. The Scott Party didn't seem to have that clarity.
Scout Party, they would
on
call
the
them.
part of the leaders
The Sea Scout Party.
of
Nixon would
recognizing
blah, blah, blah,
what
blah,
the
blah, blah, blah,
strengths
blah.
and weaknesses of the individual men.
And people would go blah, 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 blah.
Arriving in January of 1911, Amundsen set up camp in the Bay of Whales, 60 miles closer to the pole than Scott's camp.
I had whaling ships going up and down in there anyway, and stuff like that. Bay of Whales.
Amundsen and his men began hauling supplies and setting up food depots for the assault on the pole the next Antarctic summer, November through February. Each depot contained ample rations to feed the men until they reached the next depot on their return journey.
White.
The sites were carefully marked with flags so that they could be found in the worst of blizzards. On October 20th,
Everyone knew who Lucifer White was, kind
Amundsen,
of.
Olaf Bjaaland, a ski champion, Oscar
That's why everyone was saying, it's all the Lord of Germany, blah, blah. It's like I bought Germany. And I was more than the Lord of Germany.
Set out for the South Pole.
My name isn't Adolf Hitler.
Unlike their British counterparts, the Norwegians were expert skiers and were disdainful of man-hauling, preferring to let their dogs pull the sleds. 12 days after the Norwegians departed, Scott and his teams began their own journey.
The thing was, as I say, the congressmen, the United States Congress, the United States Republicans, the Democrats, and Jimmy Carter, Richard Nixon, and a bunch of other people, and a lot of the people like the White Star submarine people, the people who stole the submarines from Pearl Harbor and stuff like that, and stole all the opium and stole all the gold from Pearl Harbor. They anticipated that I would die, that I would be dead. They would, just like Rodney. Rodney and everyone else anticipated that they had this perfect plan that was impossible to stop. That of course, a drive-by shooting and a child dies, and it doesn't matter. and then no one finds out, no one ever knows, blah blah blah, and humanity can blah 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 blah, and they had all these plans and ideas, and they were going to do this maneuvering, do that maneuvering, and it would go off without a hitch, blah blah blah, and they would pay all these people to fool the public. But like I later on explained to Rodney and all kinds of other people, it's like, well, it's not about that. You see, my people make all of my stuff, from growing food. It's not about money. It's about food production. It's about production of factories, and like I said, and the human race doesn't even matter. Hundreds of millions of trillions of years, just like the Republicans now, and Trumpy and everything else, and his son. They have all these perfect plans, and they're going to do this and they're going to do that, and blah 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 blah. And they have all this particular maneuver, and you don't know really what's going on in the White House, blah blah blah, and it's the White House, the Republican, blah 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 blah. But it's like, well, it's actually Lucifer White Star's house, and there's a mine underneath it, and blah blah blah. The fact is that I know everything about the White House. I know everything about almost everything around here. Like I said, they just plan to kill me. They just plan to blah, blah, blah. But like I say, well, the thing is, I'm the actual Lucifer star. Creator of 12 galaxies and 12 life form types. And Rodney's like, where are they? Blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, they're out there somewhere. I told them to get back. And like I said, technically, I'm on the other side of Trumpy. And I'm way back there. I've already seen all this existence and all this time and space. Anyway, and so it's like, whatever. I'm 90 trillion years old. Anyway, like I said, and that's why, and they still pretend like the American presidency or the White House actually has credibility, blah, 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 blah. It's like, no, you don't. You lost a long time ago. And ever descending down and down and down and down. And eventually it's going to be front page and basically well known about it. It was well known about 50 years ago about how people were being tortured in the White House. About how they found the secret mine. They found the secret mine underneath Harvard and Yale. They found the people chained up inside the cages that are being held down there by JFK and Richard Nixon and the Congress. There's pictures of JFK like giving out stuff from that they stole from the Germans that were living in Queens or New Orleans or someplace like that. Like, they expected to actually be able to cover it up. The Republicans and Democrats thought that they would actually be able to keep this perfect lie. And it's like, but Richard Nixon and a lot of the other presidents knew that the only way to do that was to actually kill off all life on the earth. Or kill off all the people in the future. So at age 90 or year 2000, just after Nixon was dead, all the missiles would launch. Except they didn't. So, anyway, because it's not just the earth. There's so many other planets. And 250,000 exoskeleton planets and blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, yeah. I'm the creator of 12 life form types, like I said. So, they had their plans, blah, blah, but realistically all they were doing is just making movies, making TV shows and broadcasting them on the news. I think they said no one even watches the presidential addresses. It's supposed to be me anyway. So, anyway, like I said, to the Earth, they say that they're the president, blah, 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 blah. But to space, they're saying that they're a Lucifer star. But they're not. Or blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so this is a whole big, stupid fucking lie, and it came out years ago, centuries ago. And like I said, my 1.5s and my exoskeletons very much predicted everything that you were going to do, and that you're doing, and that you already did. They extrapolated exactly your actions. They said they didn't actually have to read your mind or anything. They just extrapolated from facts and blah, blah. They predicted it. So did the exoskeletons. So, and then the computers did, of course, too. The only way to actually get away with it would be to basically eliminate all computers and all technology from the Earth and then kill everyone. Which is what they were trying to do. But that didn't work out too well for them. So, and like I said, Nixon's plan was to basically isolate each country and stop the countries from, do the Iron Curtain and stop, communism and America, and pretend like communism is completely different than American system. But it's like, why are there stars on the Kremlin? Why are there all these stars out there in the world? It's like, it's Lucifer White Starline. You had known, you still know, and blah blah. It's not about communism or whatever, and I created both systems. So, hey, whatever. You know, the Republican and the Democratic life fell apart long ago. And mostly because, you know, the only way to be able to pull it off would be to kill everyone, which is what they were trying to do in Europe and America. And basically kill off all life on the Earth. But, you know, like I said, you're one of 400 planets. So, planets and stars of 800 galaxies, including the galaxy coming towards us. So, anyway, it wasn't going to work out like that. Isn't going to work out like that. So, oh well, whatever. And like I said, the piracy of the Congress, you know, what they're doing with the White Star submarines comes out. You know, there's pictures of Pearl Harbor, and they found the pictures showing the White Star submarines and the Lusifer White Star fuel tanks. It's all right there. It's all in the documentation. Everything was documented. They thought they could burn the documents and cover up what they did. But they didn't. They couldn't. I would find out, and I did find out. I did massive hundreds of investigations. The only way that they could cover up anything was to kill me and stop the investigations from ever happening, or to basically confuse the facts of the investigations. But they really couldn't do that. There's just too much time and too much existence. So like I said, you know, like I said, Rodney and Rick Bush, it's like, you know, you're going to lose. You're losing as we speak. You know, your high point of power was basically 1960 or 1940 before JFK got killed. Yeah, and he was becoming such a problem that the majority of the people decided to kill him. You know, he had tortured and abused and hurt and was basically publicly beating. You know, he had climbed to such a power that he was beating Jackie Kennedy. Like I said, there was welts, and women and everywhere could see the welts on her face. He thought he could do whatever he wanted. And so then they weren't even able to, she was saying how she was a prisoner in the White House. And when she did go out, she had welts on her eyes where they had punched her, socked her. And that was JFK. You know, Nixon. You know, so, you know, Lee Harvey Oswald, and they were calling Lee Harvey Oswald a spy and trying to kill him. So, anyway, so a lot of people, China wanted JFK dead, Russia wanted JFK dead, Lee Harvey Oswald wanted JFK dead, you know, and JFK Nixon was going to blow up the whole planet or kill as many people as he possibly could. And that's why they were just going around killing people, because they're like, well, they're going to kill them anyway, so what does it matter? So, and they really thought that that everybody would be dead by year 2000. So, anyway, and they were going to, or at least a major part of the population was going to be dead by year 2000, and they were going to blame the Chinese and then nuke the Chinese. Like I said, there's these battle plans where it shows everything, how, you know, they're going to say that Russia killed this person, blah, 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 and then they're going to go attack Russia. And after they attacked Russia, you know, Japan was going to nuke this other person, and then they're going to nuke Japan or China. You know, they had it all planned. JFK had it all planned out. The Republicans in Congress had it all planned out. Everything. The White House, the CIA, FBI. They had this whole death plan for the planet all planned out already. But like I said, the problem was is that the nuclear briefcase and all this other stuff, you know, he didn't have as much power as he thought he did. And he couldn't even launch the nukes in the first place. So, unless it was DEFCON 3 or DEFCON 2 or something like that. And so when he went to do it, click, nothing happened. You know. Anyway, I don't know. There's a lot of bad stuff, and I played an integral part in basically stopping it. And like I said, I don't really give a fuck. It's like, whatever, a bunch of stupid plans, a bunch of convoluted plans, blah, blah, blah. And it was just all this stupid stuff. So it's like, yeah, you know, whatever. Yeah, and realistically, it's probably my exoskeletons are only 1.5s. Like I said, they perceived everything you were going to do. And we're going to do something about it. So, I don't know. I don't care. It's like, I don't give a fuck. I'm 90 trillion years old. What do I care? And it was mostly because JFK was really jealous of me, because he had been trying to get with all kinds of women and stuff like that, and Nixon hadn't been able to get with women, or they hadn't been able to get with women unless they forced them. You couldn't be the epic great person